Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the Chronicles with us, the Red Devil Chronicle. My name's Andy.
And I'm Nick.
And he's Joe. And this week we're going to talk about United being wasteful. Granted, Stoke's keeper was on form. We're going to start the show with the fan takeover. Let's kick it off now. Joe, you're in the studio with me this week.
Hello,
unfortunately,
as always.
Some people didn't bother, did they, Nick?
No. Never mind.
But we have got him over the phone for a brief chat. We're kicking off slightly differently. We've decided that we're fed up of doing the United chat and the fan takeover together because it causes a lot of misery, doesn't it, Joe?
Same thing, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll throw to you firstly, Joe. Being as you've bothered to join us in the studio, Nick.
It's kind of half my job, isn't it? If
Yeah.
I don't turn up, nobody will.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you're swinging rackets round tonight, I believe, Nick. Just to clarify.
I did tell you, Andy. This was already booked in. I couldn't get out of it.
Booked in. Booked in badminton. What is that about? It's not a proper sport.
Of all the choices. But we're going to talk football, despite the fact that Nick's off playing badminton. And we are, of course, the Red Devil Chronicle, official partner of the Stretford End app. Please download it from your store, whichever app store you use. But Joe, I'll kick off with yourself. Of course, we'll get Stoke out of the way. Picked up their first point at Old Trafford since 1980 in a 1-1 draw last Sunday. Now, Stoke had conceded in all 18 of their previous games in all competition. That was spanning back to March the 2nd, I was looking at. Absolutely phenomenally bad record at the back. And yet, we only squeezed one goal past them with 24 attempts. What went wrong there?
Stoke had to win. So, basically, it comes down to that. It's kind of... They were just unbelievable in the back, weren't they? You know, I don't think I've ever seen a team defend like that without just parking the bus. It was proper defending. It wasn't boring football. It was entertaining for everyone to watch, and I think that's where kind of people are almost willing to put up with it. But in the same sense, if you're just looking at the result, then you're getting probably very angry at it. But if you watch the game, then you kind of can go, well, we had enough chances, but we just didn't take them as well. But maybe the keeper was just having a good day. So you've got to factor in all the different bits and bobs that happen in the game to kind of think, well, you know, it was a bad draw, but in one way, the chances we created was a good start to the season.
It was. Nick, I know we spoke at great length on Sunday about this after the game. We were both livid at the time. I don't know how much I've calmed down about it, really.
What, drunk or just...
No, completely sober for once.
Fuming. Yep.
But yeah, we were fuming. Not steaming, but fuming. But Nick, how often does this happen? Man United come up against these teams that are on dreadful runs of form. At Old Trafford, should be a comfortable 3 points. Is it United arrogance? Is it teams picking their game up against us specifically? Is it a combination of the two? Which of the factors are bigger for you?
No, we've improved, Andy. Like we're creating chances now. We're just not putting them away. The last 3 years, we've not been creating chances. That's been the issue. We'd play Stoke at home. It'd finish 1-1, and we'd have 2 shots on goal. That'd be it. Now we're creating 24. But the problem is, we're like Tommy guns. We're not putting them away. We're not clinical. And that's what's worrying me most. When you've got players like Ibrahimovic in the team, and he has a 1-on-1 within the first minute of the game, if that would have gone in, it would have ended up 5 or 6-0 in my opinion.
Absolutely right.
But
Almost tried to be too clever, didn't he? He sort of tried to throw the keeper one way and went the other way.
Yeah, football's the simple things. If you do them well, you'll 90% of the time. All he has to do is put it in the far corner. I was screaming at him when he did it, and it was bizarre that he tried to put it in the inside of the keeper, who obviously did very well that game. Grant, I think that was his first game in the Premier League.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal start. Yeah,
pretty special debut for the lad. But no, that game should have been 5 or 6-0. But the only positives we could take, we are creating chances. 24 chances created is very impressive.
Absolutely right. Before we go into further detail specifically on the Stoke game, I know that we had a chat, Joe, earlier, and you wanted to throw something a bit different into the hat, a quick game that we'll fire through with myself and Nick as well. You were talking about stick or twist. We played a sort of version of this at the end of last season with the whole squad asking who should be kept and who should be sold. And I know you wanted to have a look at the starting 11 specifically from the Stoke game and ask who's United quality and who needs to be binned off. So,
Yeah.
Joe, whenever you're ready, if you want to kick this off,
Well,
I'll
I'm
throw
glad
this out
Jenna's eye's not there.
there.
I kind of just
And
had a look at the starting 11. I thought if we all go through together and see kind of who deserves to be in the squad at the moment and who kind of doesn't. And I thought if I kind of read the names out and you and Nick and me just have a little brief discussion on if you'd bin them out.
I definitely disagree, Joe.
If you bin them out the squad, who would you put in there in replacement? Rather than just say, oh, Blind isn't good enough, he's done this wrong. Who are you going to put there instead? Because instead of hiding behind the fact, oh, we had a bad game, we don't ever talk about he had a bad game. So who else is you going to play there? That's what I want to know. So that's where I'm going with it.
Well, let's dig into it. I think
De
we're going to
Gea.
skip the goalkeeper.
No, I'm going to stick with it. De Gea.
Really? Okay.
De Gea. So would anybody check? Because he had a bit
Is
of
it
a
worth
dodgy
mentioning
one.
De Gea? I think we'd all agree.
All right. Okay.
I'm sticking.
Yeah, everyone's sticking with De Gea.
I think everyone's
So
sticking.
we'll go right to left.
He's got credit in the bank.
We'll go right to left.
Okay.
So Valencia,
No.
you'd twist.
Yeah, I'm twisting them.
So who you putting there? Who you putting there instead?
I'd personally rather have Fosu Mensah right now. That's just my personal opinion.
That's an interesting call. You see, I would be sticking with Valencia at the moment. I mean, defensively, his position can be shocking. However, start of this season, I think he's been solid. And don't get me wrong, we've had many a chat about this. Fosu Mensah, I absolutely love the guy. I think he's going to be a brilliant talent given his chance at United. But I don't think right back is a natural position for him. And I don't want him to become a new Phil Jones being squeezed into certain places.
I agree completely, but it's game time. And what are you going to get with 31-year-old Valencia? We've all seen it before. Now, although he has thrown in the odd left foot cross, which has shocked me, but apart from that, you know what you're going to get at right back, a solid performance, which I'm more than happy to have. But right now, I think Fosu Mensah needs game times, and that's the only position we can really accommodate him. So I don't really want Valencia there.
So one stick and one twist.
Absolutely. I mean, you get casting vote on this, Joe. Before I throw it to you for the casting decision on Valencia, I would say going forward, as Nick says, as well as a left-footed cross here and there, he has also been very good in attacking and pushing on at players. So, Joe, your casting vote on this one, stick or twist with Valencia?
Well, personally, I think we've been a tiny bit messy at the back, in one sense. Not obviously, but
the Stoke goal was a shambles.
Discreetly messy, and players are just getting away with running into our box and being picked up really easily. And I don't think when Valencia's stuck up the pitch, because he doesn't get back as fast as probably some of the other players could with younger legs. So it's kind of whether you think is it more helpful for him to be attacking, or is because you look at the corner count and you look at the attempts on target, 15 attempts on target, off target. I'm gonna stick with Valencia.
There we go. So we're sticking.
Just a point to raise. No one mentioned Darmian.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of rumours flying around recently about Darmian being one of a number of players potentially out the club, hasn't there?
We haven't had a chance yet to prove himself, so maybe it's his time. If things aren't working, maybe it's time for Darmian to have another shot, because he hasn't had a chance under Jose. So
I'd keep him, Nick. I mean, I don't know where you stand on the Darmian issue, but I think Louis van Gaal ruined him that game against Arsenal when he dragged him off, and he deserved it. But he never really sort of regained confidence after that.
I don't think he's got the pace of the Premier League. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's a good player. He'll be solid against the lesser teams, so I won't mind keeping him as a squad player. But as long-term right back, I don't think he's got a future at United.
Right, I'm going to move it on because we've got a whole 11 to go through.
Fire away.
Eric, big Eric at the back. What are we doing with him?
Stick.
Oh, stick.
Yeah,
all day.
That's an
I'm sticking.
Yeah.
Smalling, has he been good enough on his return? Nick?
I'd stick. I'd probably stick, but just because of all the options in the current squad, I think
I agree for the same reason. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna twist.
Who would you throw in instead?
This is where I'll move it on to Blind. Just
okay.
so
don't say Blind. Go away, Joe.
I'm gonna put Blind where Smalling is.
Right. Okay.
Because
he's not a centre half.
Well, I don't care. I think that Blind has played a good few matches there when he has played there. I'm going to put Blind there, and I'm going to move on to Blind now and say so Blind. What are you doing with Blind then? I know what I'm doing on that left hand side. What are you guys doing with it, Nick?
I'm playing in defensive midfield.
No. I'm saying, so what you, on the left back? Who are you playing there? Is it Blind? Are you sticking? Or, well, that's who I'm going for.
Yeah, you've got to go Luke Shaw. I mean, what Blind does is excellent in terms of his intelligence. His ball play's great. His passing ability, I've no issue with a lot of what he does. I think, as Nick says, he's probably better off used in a defensive midfield position. He gets shown up against both pace and strength on occasion, and they're two things that you have all over the shop in terms of strikers in the Premier League. I think at the moment Blin deserves his place at left back, if I'm being totally honest.
Is he the best squad player in the Premier League?
Arguably so.
The best squad player in the Premier League. I think this kind of can of worms, that, isn't it? Because
it's not kind of worms.
Yeah, it's not.
I just don't think he's a long-term centre half. That's my only opinion. I think he's a brilliant footballer.
But I don't think Smalling's been up to scratch, and the only reason he's there now is kind of similar to Rooney, that he's now wearing the armband. Who else are you going to give that? Who else are you going to give the armband if you take De Gea out? Smalling out.
Everyone knows Blin's kryptonite. If we come up against a striker who's quick, Blin, he gets shown up. It always happens.
Right. Well, moving on. So you both kind of gone. Well, Nick's gone for Fosu on the right. Andy's gone for Valencia. You got Eric at the back with Smalling and Shaw on the left. So moving on to Herrera, who started against Stoke. What would you do with him?
Stick.
Yeah,
stick him with Herrera.
You absolutely have to stick with Herrera. I think Herrera got overpraised in parts last season, and then undervalued very quickly, and shunned to the bench unfairly. And I think what we've seen from Herrera, both from a defensive side of things as well as the ability to move the ball quickly forward, is he's a real player. In a three in midfield, he could be sensational for Man United, and he's shown glimpses of that before. He's never going to be our star man, but he could be a consistently very solid talent for us.
Yeah, he's never going to be world class.
I think he brings a bit of flair to a game, which we kind of almost need in this current state. Because if we are being a bit scruffy at the back while we settle in again, then maybe we need some flair to get the chances on target, and hopefully we don't come up against the keeper as well as as whatever he was called played.
I just think he suits Jose's system more than anyone else we have in the squad. I don't think Herrera's ever going to be world class personally.
Do you see him as kind of like Man United's Oscar?
I wouldn't have said that personally, but
I see him as kind of similar. That's how I see him developing for under the Mourinho era, because I think he's kind of almost got that. I mean, Oscar's quite a good squad player, and I think that's
I see
how
him as a silver, but just not as good.
A silver, but just not as good.
Yeah,
I wish he was a silver.
So everyone's sticking with Herrera. I won't even mention Pogba because he's too much money to drop.
You need to give him time. He's not ever been fully fit in the squad, and obviously you have to stick with him at this stage.
Rashford on the right, I've got for some reason.
I'd twist.
Oh,
eventually.
Who are we putting on the right?
Personally, I'd like Mkhitaryan there. That's just my personal opinion. I think he played there for Dortmund, and you don't become a poor player overnight. And we should be putting Rashford on the wing. It's not his position.
Fair enough, Andy.
Yeah, I'm picking up on Nick's point. I think this is the issue, which I'm going to come on to in a bit later when we let Nick go and throw some shuttlecocks around. But I think the issue is that United have a lot of good attacking talent being misused, and I agree with Nick. As a long-term project, Rashford is not a winger.
But right now, I'm asking, what would you do with Rashford? Next game, Liverpool, what are you doing with him?
I would twist, and if you're talking about the Liverpool game in particular, I'm playing Juan Mata from the right.
On the right, okay. So moving on to Juan Mata, who started in the middle against Stoke. What are we doing with Mata? So he's gone on the right for you, Andy. Who are you putting in the middle?
Well, Mata's going to stick in the squad.
But I'm saying that so he's already gone out of that position, so now you've got an empty gap between it. In that current formation, that's what we're sticking with.
I wouldn't be playing that formation against Liverpool.
Well, this is what you've got to work with.
Well, I'm keeping Mata.
So Mata's on the right. Who's in the middle?
If you're playing in the current formation, I mean, I don't like the current formation.
You're being very cruel, Joe.
I think that's the crux of the issue.
I'm asking you to swap or change
wrong.
Under the current system. I'm asking you to swap or change. I'm not saying move it around. I'm saying who you're going to stick with and where you're going to put them.
I wouldn't stick with the current formation either.
Well, this is what you're working with.
I think we're working with the wrong team. I think that's where it falls apart.
So who's in the middle for you? You kind of got one option left if you've got Mata on the right. You've either got to put Rooney there or Mkhitaryan.
You're going to have to go Mkhitaryan then. Because I'm
I'd
playing
rather
Mata
have a
from the
cardboard
right.
box there than Rooney.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right, yeah.
He's had 2 decent accidental assists. So I'd stick with Rashford and Mata. That's personally what I would go for, but that's just me.
Well,
Anyway,
we didn't know Joe. We didn't know Joe was ruling that we had to keep the same
absolutely, yeah.
formation.
well, that's what we've started off with.
That's
so we
a cruel twist in the game.
We've been
Lingard.
stitched up here, Andy.
We have been stitched up royally.
So Lingard is currently lost on the left wing somewhere.
Me and Nick are both
all day.
twisting. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
that.
bye-bye.
Who are you putting there though?
Martial.
Martial?
Yeah.
You think he's good enough to come back into the squad?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
You can't be disagreeing with that, Joe.
All right, I'll let you have that one.
He's rubbish. He's rubbish.
But it comes
He's
up top
absolutely
then.
rubbish.
It comes back to up top, and this I kind of almost think it's worth a bit of a debate that Ibrahimovic is he worth sticking with at the moment? He's been a bit scruffy with his play.
Look at the options. He's the only choice. It's
We've got
either
nothing
him.
else.
It's either him
Yeah.
or Rashford. And in a game against Liverpool, I
Or
know
Rooney.
I know Rashford has stepped up massively, but I just think Ibrahimovic against that defence, that Liverpool defence is not tight at all.
But does Ibrahimovic look happy where he is? Does he look like he's scratching at chances? Does he look like he's going to produce something magnificent?
He's
He's
been a
not
frustrated
scratching
figure.
at chances. He's missing them.
Well,
That's
that's
the problem.
yeah.
Clear-cut chances as well.
He's been wasteful, but I think against that Liverpool defence, I think you get chances, and I don't think you can take a gamble to remove him from the team because he has got the talent to bag goals. So I think you have to stick.
He had a fast start as well, and he has admittedly come off the boil, but I think it's a matter of time before, all these chances he's missing, he'll turn into a hat-trick. That's what will happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
One game, it's going to come.
So you're all hoping for a hat-trick against Liverpool?
Oh, I'd love that.
Oh, my God, yes.
That'd be Insta-God status for Zlatan.
Well, that's all from my my stick or twist. So that I'll leave you with that one, Andy, and
I think
move that one on.
I think what we're effectively saying, Joe, is that
There's only
there's
a few
obvious
areas.
concerns at right back. There's obvious concerns longer term. Lingard is a huge issue from one side, and I think the bigger debate, which we'll go into later on in the show, which I think this feature has highlighted. This feature within a feature in featureception that we're playing, I think has shown an issue with players still being played out of position, which was something that we were moaning about with Louis van Gaal and David Moyes. So I think we'll go deeper into the story on that one later on. Nick, we'll probably leave you there, I think, to go and prepare yourself for a big night.
I need to mentally prepare.
I can imagine. But it's been emotional. It's good to have you back, albeit in spirit, in the studio. But
I can't wait to be back in the studio.
Absolutely. See you soon.
See you soon, mate.
I'll let you have the lasting beep. I've never let anyone do that before, so I'll let you hang up for once, Nick.
Oh, thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Where is it? Leave the remnants of Nick going somewhere. So anyway,
There you go.
moving on.
Yeah, so, Joe, let's fire through the rest of the fan takeover then. From this week, it was Monday.
There he is. He's gone.
God, he took his time, didn't he?
I was waiting for it.
I was as well. I thought he'd done a clean hang up.
No, he's not. It took forever.
He did. I think he just sat there looking at his phone for
He's
a while.
probably missing us. I
God-
haven't seen
God
him in a
bless
couple of years. So
Well, exactly. It feels like it, doesn't it? Absolutely useless, that boy.
well, he missed the end of the last season because he got upset, and now he's missing the start because we started losing. So I can say this now. He's gone.
Excellent stuff. Joe, fan takeover then. We'll move on from the stick or twist then, which has highlighted a couple of areas for concern. But every Monday from 12 o'clock, you know the score, every 45 minutes we drop a new poll for you and we ask for your opinion. So that's exactly what we did this Monday, surprisingly. First question that we asked from this week's fan takeover started with Jose believing that the performance against Stoke was the best so far this season. Joe, we've covered some of it, but we'll go into this a little bit more. Firstly, we asked, do you agree with that statement from Jose? Yes, got 62% of the votes. 38% said no, it was not the best performance. Joe, do you agree? Best performance of the season for you against Stoke?
It's just incredible, isn't it? What these people think of, I don't know. I think it's tough, isn't it? How can you call that the best performance when we didn't win? Because I'd rather, at the end of the day, if you don't win, then you can't say it's a good performance to me. because the aim of the game is to come out with 3 points, and we didn't. So how at the end, if we didn't do that, then we should be looking at how we should change that. Not say, oh yeah, that was the best one we've done so far, because it isn't. How's that? If we won, then that's the best. It doesn't matter how you win. If it's scruffy, yes, it was entertaining. If the question was, if he said that was the most entertaining game of the season, I would have said I would have been part of the 62%. But he's not saying that. He's saying that was our best performance, and it's just not.
Yeah, I mean, where do you stand on the best performance of the season so far?
I don't know. I'd say Leicester.
I mean, I'm partial to agreeing with you purely because of the way that we absolutely battered them.
And do you remember we were saying in this podcast, if we go out and do that, then that could turn our season around.
And it didn't.
It didn't. But
not yet.
For a minute, while I was watching Leicester, I felt all warm inside.
Yeah.
And didn't you? And I thought back to this podcast and I thought, this is it.
This could be
this is the moment. I said 3-1, it was 4-1. So I wasn't far off. And
it was the way that we took it to them, and Leicester have been off the boil. We know that. It was going to happen. But they are the champions, and we stuffed them.
Yeah, they've got a gold badge on their shirt for a reason.
Yeah.
And we don't. So at the end of the day, if we go out and beat them, then I'm still...
We should have taken more from it.
I did feel quite... Like I said, I felt warm inside.
Yeah.
And that was the moment where I thought, yes, that's it. We're going to climb the table, and we're going to smash City, and we're going to beat Spurs, and then it just fell apart.
I mean, there's a comment here from at Paul O'Toole 12 who says, "So what? Not 3 points," which sort of echoes your sentiment, Joe, of how can you talk about performance being good if you're not getting the 3 points? It's a little bit of a chicken and egg point about which comes first. Is it the performance or is it winning the games, which is a difficult one. But Cogsy 666 said, "If we'd have taken some of the many chances we created, I think other people would have said the same. Drawing makes it look bad, perhaps saying it makes it look worse than it actually was." Is taking chances not part of a good performance? If you're missing chances, especially some of the magnitude of like the Pogba one, the Lingard one, the Ibrahimovic one, is that not part of the performance, Joe?
Do you know what frustrates me? The fact how scruffy their goal was and how unclinical we were, and it was just so appalling and so poor. And I just don't understand how we can go from just absolutely ramming them in at Leicester to just completely falling apart when we came down to playing against Stoke. So I really don't understand why we just threw away that kind of clinical finishing and the confidence to go and put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, you should be kicking on after scoring so many goals against Leicester to then go and throw it away. It's, as you say, it was 1 step forward and 2 steps back. I mean, turning to some of the fans' thoughts on this question on Twitter before we move to the next one. Copious Opium says, "Totally agree. More chances than versus Leicester. Even more controlled and maintained over 2 halves," which was true. He said these things happen. At Clay 1978 United says, "Thought it was good, but Leicester was quicker and slicker," which I think is where we stand. And at AXAS23, that's Alex from the United Sun, says, "In terms of creation, it definitely was just a bad day at the office. Played better than we did versus Leicester." But it did come down to chance creation, Joe. And so on that note, moving on to the next question, we asked, do Manchester United have a clinical enough strike force to win the Premier League? I'll tell you firstly why I put this statement up, and I don't necessarily agree with it wholeheartedly, but there is a caveat to it. So my belief is that United have a large amount of striking talent, but it's very unbalanced in the way it's spread throughout the team. There's a real mixture of very capable older players in the twilight of their career, and a very inconsistent crop of dynamic and flary young players, often played out of position, and often with too much reliance put on them. And United, for me, are missing an attacking player at the peak of their career, someone like Robin van Persie, which, of course, won us the league single-handedly in 2012. I mean, Joe, what are your thoughts on this? To me, United striking foursome or threesome, depending on whether you count Rooney still as a striker, it strikes me as imbalanced at the moment, or unbalanced rather. It just doesn't seem to have the right blend. It's missing one key component of a player at the peak.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I mean, I'm just trying to think of who we could bring in replacement. Like you said, someone in the peak of their career. And the only people I can think of, well, the person that might fit into the system we have, I was thinking of Lewandowski or someone like that. But we're not going to get anyone like that. And I think what we have got could potentially work, because what you do have in them experienced players and a bunch that are inconsistent and young is that the ones that are in the twilight of the career can help bring a bit more consistency to the young ones. So eventually, future-proofing, the next 2-3 years, we're going to see results from the young players that are with playing with all that experience at the moment. I do think that half the problem comes with the whole team cohesion kind of problem. I think that when you watch United, I feel like I still stand by what I said last podcast and say it's the Pogba and Ibrahimovic show. Between them, they're trying to do everything together, whereas the rest of the squad is kind of still playing as Man United, and I think that's the problem. I don't think it's so much that we've got a team of young players playing with a team of old players, because there's a bit of that, but I do think half of the issue is playing that we're playing kind of individuals again rather than playing as a team.
Yeah, no.
Well, Leicester didn't win with individuals, did they? They won as a team,
as a unit, absolutely. The fans' thoughts on this: C. Clay 1978 United was involved, saying we need a little more luck. I'm sure things will click. Positive signs. Bucko 7 says 7 games, 7. Come on. We know it's very early in the season, Rob. I appreciate that. But 7 games into
after the question,
season,
though, don't you? Because we did of
absolutely
Louis van Gaal
right.
and we did of David Moyes.
Yeah,
and
you've got to ask the same questions.
And I bet you did, Bucko. And I did. I definitely did. I'll admit it. I put my hand up after 7 games and thought, oh, God, what are we in for now?
I just think it's unfair to ask the question of other managers if you're not going to ask it of Mourinho.
Exactly. You look across the board, you're looking at Pep, and you think, oh, look at what he's put together, and look how magnificent he is. Why we should be able to turn around and look at what we're doing and what we're doing wrong. We can't pin it all on just the manager. I don't know why I've ended up in the manager chat, but
we love a manager chat.
I know it's only 7 games, but you've still got to analyse the 7 games and say what's gone right or wrong.
20% of the season gone, Joe.
Exactly, you're the stats man. You've got the maths in there.
But moving on from that, from what we have seen so far, albeit 7 games so far, where are United finishing in the Premier League this season is what we asked next. Poll results on this firstly. So 11% of fans went with first. Second or third, so automatic Champions League spot, 48%, that was a majority. Fourth spot was 27%, and outside the top 4 was 14%. Going to a comment first that came in on this at Paul MUFC05, said, with the players we've got, it's got to click at some point, just not something quite right yet, but can't put my finger on it. I'd say we'd been able to put our finger on it absolutely a couple of times over so far already. But Joe, I mean, United are notoriously slow starters. It was the same under Ferguson. It probably always will be the case with Manchester United. And some teams start well. And as a result, they believe it's going to be their year. Not having a particular dig at any teams in particular there. But Joe, from what you've seen at the start of this season, it's been a real mixed bag so far. It's been a fairly average start. What do you think holds for United's season? Which group do you come in on this Twitter poll, and who do you think are the genuine title contenders around us?
I don't know. I'm with the majority. I think
You're going second or third.
Yeah, it's too early to say first. But again, I'm going to the whole 7 games thing. We don't quite know after 7 games. I think United could have a blinding run after Christmas, but you never know. We could be like the opposite of Arsenal and say, oh look, like Arsenal every start of the year, every time really well. They're kind of doing the opposite. They don't know what they're doing this year. They're ruining the consistent pattern of winning every game up until Christmas, and then. So I'm hoping that after we get to the Christmas point, and that we put a blinding run of games together, and we end up just taking it, just nipping it. I wouldn't even mind just. Because City took it, didn't they, all them years ago when Aguero finished in the last minute just to hit the nail in the coffin of United's poor seasons for the last 5 years or whatever it's been. So I'd quite like it if we got to the end of the season, it was a close finish, and we're second or first, and it goes kind of. I wouldn't mind if we're in that position. That's what I'm saying.
Who do you think are the genuine teams around us then? Who are the teams in there? You've got City, of course.
You got Spurs that are here for the Mickey Mouse run as always.
So you don't see them holding it sort of longer term then?
No, they're never going to get there, are they? They haven't got. At the end of the day, when them players look at the shirt they're wearing, Tottenham Hotspur, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. When it doesn't to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like. I used to say Tottenham with my second team. When I used to watch kind of football, I used to think, now they've got a bit higher up the table, I tend to not say that anymore. I do think, I don't know, City, I mean, you can't say they are the genuine contender.
Yeah.
I think
They are the standout team at the moment.
I think that's the only way of going about it.
On that, I mean, with regards to Tottenham, I think if you look at what Pochettino's doing there, if they can continue that high press and energy that we saw against City at the weekend on a more consistent basis, they have to be up there. They're a very talented young squad. Thoughts on Liverpool, though? Of course, got them coming
chance. Up. Absolute no chance.
No?
It's just a joke, isn't it?
Another one of it's their year.
No. Yeah, one of them. I don't know. I just think it's so stupid. I hate watching Liverpool play football.
Do you think they've been very impressive at the start of the season?
Yeah, well, they always have been. Again, it's just...
And you don't think Klopp's turned the corner?
Klopp doesn't know what a corner is. Never mind turn it. He just doesn't... I don't think he's got enough to win in the Premier League.
Okay, well,
I think he just doesn't have that. Yes, it's fun to watch and it's hilarious to laugh at a manager with a bit of personality, and we can kind of warm to it a bit. But at the end of the day, they're wearing a Liverpool shirt, and I'd rather them see them relegated.
You're taking a lot of issue with what shirts people are wearing, aren't you?
Yeah, really aggressive. Well, look, I'm talking about Spurs in terms of mentality. You're wearing a Spurs shirt. Yeah. Liverpool, I just hate the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can all vouch for that, obviously.
Yeah, so there you go. That's my...
So, Joe, in a word, is it just between the two Manchester clubs, in your opinion?
I mean, it's a bit of a joke saying we're sat in 6th and they're in 1st and saying it's between the two Manchester teams, isn't it?
I gave you a bit more than word there.
No.
There you go, the thoughts of Joe. Finally, before we're going to preview the Liverpool game to finish the show up tonight. We've got another little feature in between to do so. But we asked Liverpool and then Chelsea to come when we return from the dreaded international break. How many points do you predict we'll get from those two games? So, on this point, we had... 33% of fans said 6 points, so thought we were going to get 2 wins out of 2. And then we have 42%, majority going 3 or 4 points, so either a win and a loss or a win and a draw. That's the easy way out, come on. 1 to 2 points, that was 17%, and 8% said 0 points, so no wins whatsoever for Manchester United. We all know Jose loves a big game, and during his career... he's certainly been the master of them, and what a better way to return to the Premier League than an away game at Liverpool, the biggest rivals we have, arguably, and then his old stomping ground at the Bridge. We will be discussing the Liverpool game to finish up this evening. That will be coming up next in the weekend preview. It's the Monday Night Football. It's Manchester United against Liverpool from one field. That's right, one field. The two Titans go to war in the biggest rivalry in English football. Liverpool sit 4th, having scored 18, joint most in the league. But they have conceded 10, though, and Klopp knows that they can be got at defensively. United, meanwhile, sit 6th. They've scored 13 but conceded 8. They're not exactly scoring freely, apart from the Leicester blip. So where do we stand on this one? It's weekend preview time. The football is back. Liverpool host Manchester United in a cracker. We're going to talk about where the threat lies in Liverpool, how we should set up against them, and what the score will be. We're going to predict all that with our good friend to the show, Chris Clay. And I believe Joe's also got a game to finish the show as well.
Something like that. Well done, Andy. That
Thanks,
was nice.
Mate.
Well done.
I think I'm going to make this a regular thing. It makes me feel so much better.
Good music, isn't it?
Lovely music.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Evening, guys. How are we?
Yeah, we're all good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Cracking stuff. Yeah, Joe's got a little game to play at the end of it. I mean, why not? It's been fairly miserable again, so let's try and spruce it up a bit. But Chris, I know you're one to put the positive spin on it, and this is why we thought with Nick deciding to throw us out for badminton this evening, of all the things, we thought we'd get you on because you're good for a positive spin for this channel. You're in fact the only bright light of hope. So, Chris, talk to me about Liverpool. You've heard some of the build-up. You know the game inside out. Where's the biggest threat coming from Liverpool? What is it we need to be looking out for on that Monday night?
I think we've got to watch their pressing and their movement. But I think the way we played against Stoke, I know we missed a hatful of chances, but Pogba was pressing a lot higher up the field. He was literally playing in a number 10 role, and I thought, despite his missed chances, he had a really good game. I think with this boring international break, if Jose can work with the players, I think we've got a really, really good chance of getting a really, really positive result.
There you go. That's why we brought him on.
Oh, look at that.
I feel so much better. There's 3 points in the bag there.
I feel better now.
I do as well.
Yeah, it's a good start, that, Chris. Thank you. Welcome back.
Okay.
So, the main threat for me, Chris, comes from the attacking trio of Liverpool, of Lallana, who seems to have picked his game up exponentially under Klopp. Coutinho and Firmino, of course, more obvious talents that have been there for a bit longer. But that seems to be the main threat just in behind the striker. So how is it United combat that? Because I agree the high press is something that's been missing from United's game and something that has brought great rewards to teams that are doing it. And I think we definitely need to introduce more of it into our game. Especially when you look back at the derby, the fans behind the goal were beckoning the players to come forward. How do we, though, combat the problems in between the lines?
Attack. You're getting cut off if you even start, Chris.
But how do we combat in between the lines, Chris? Just behind their attack is where you've got freedom of movement for Liverpool. How do we combat that threat?
Well, I think we need legs in the middle of that. I think Schneiderlin is fit, and he's got to look to come back into the side sometime soon. I think Herrera's played really, really well. And look to be, almost bossing in the midfield, telling people where to be. I think that came from one of the goals against Leicester. And if we've got legs, because they're only a small attacking three for Liverpool. I think with Bailly and Smalling, I think we can bully them off the ball, anything long and high. But we definitely need legs. Fellaini, not for me in there. And that would just release Pogba to, maybe move forward and press on with Ibra and the wide players.
Well, you'll hear our squad selection, Chris, when this gets released later on, because we've done a whole stick or twist. So you'll know the ideas that we and Andy have had, and Nick, funnily enough.
It was very unfair, that game, can I just say. Effectively, Joe made us stick with the same formation that we played against Stoke, which I think is entirely wrong in the first place. And asked us if we were sticking with the players in their original position. It got very confusing, if I'm honest, by the end. It's late in the evening anyway, so I don't need a lot to confuse me. With regards to the formation, Chris, it was something that we argued about earlier on in the show. So I wanted to have your take on this. 4-3-3, 4-4-2. Where do you stand on this? 4-2-3-1. Which system best suits United? Not just in general play, but in particular for this game, perhaps. How do we set up for this one?
I would say 4-3-3.
And this is exactly my point.
Yeah, I'd love to go 4-4-2 and play Rashford up with Ibra, but against Liverpool, you need to be a little bit more solid. I think with legs in the middle of the park, like I said, with Herrera, probably Schneiderlin and Pogba, two wide players, Ibra up front, and obviously I haven't even mentioned Rooney there. So
wow, what's happened?
I know.
It has been hiatus, hasn't it?
Joe's lost his bell and Chris has lost Rooney. It's all going wrong.
I don't know where my bell's gone.
I need to find that.
I've only got the wrong songs now. That's all I've got. I've got really sad songs to play to you, but I've no bell.
Well, what I'll do is I'll give you my thoughts on the starting 11 that I've put together, and I'll throw it out to you guys. Is that from
our game, or is that from...
No, this is the one I wanted to pick before your harsh, cruel dictatorship of a game. So I'm going to be free here, free from the shackles of Joe's game. So my starting 11 for Liverpool is, of course, De Gea in goal. Back four of Valencia, Smalling, Bailly and Blind. Midfield three.
So the same as Stoke so far.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem with that.
All right.
Midfield 3 of Carrick, holding. Didn't play against Stoke.
I like a bit of Carrick.
Yeah, we all love a bit of Carrick. Herrera, as Chris has mentioned a couple of times, I think deservedly is in there. And Pogba, obviously. And then my 3 sort of more attacking players are Mata from the right, which is the big debate we had earlier. Ibrahimovic up top, and Martial gets his place back on the left.
No Memphis.
No, obviously not. No, he wants to go. I mean, Chris, with regards to that 11 that I'm putting out, would you personally, I mean, you know you wanted to go 4-3-3. Are there any tweaks that you'd make with regards to the players that I've put into that system?
I mean, I love Carrick, but I'm just not sure his legs are there.
You don't need legs when you're Michael Carrick. You don't need them.
Yeah.
You just
He thinks 10 yards quicker.
Yeah, there you go.
Against the movement of the 3 that we've discussed for Liverpool, does he have the legs to combat that?
Absolutely not.
Attacking wise, yes.
I agree with you, Chris. I mean, that is where the concern comes in with Carrick. But I'll tell you the reason that I played him as opposed to Schneiderlin in that, because I could have easily picked Schneiderlin, and everyone knows my great love of Schneiderlin. But Carrick, in this particular game, I think with the way Liverpool press, I think you can't afford to be giving the ball away, especially in that sort of in your own third and within the midfield area. That battle is vital to win. And I think we've got some sloppy players in midfield who are conscious of giving the ball away too often. I think Schneiderlin is in that bracket. I also think Lingard's in there, which is why he wouldn't play. I think Rooney's in there, which is why he doesn't play. Carrick is not going to give the ball away. He's very safe on the ball, always picks the right pass. And I think he has been well rested, Chris. I mean, I think he could give us a stint in that game.
Yeah, but do you not think you'd need to play someone alongside him and go 4-3-1 if you're playing Carrick?
I don't know. I mean, Herrera could possibly be the person who drops back in there with him, and perhaps Pogba sort of pivots out of the 3. So I think the thing is, like you say, I think you probably need to be slightly more fluid with the system, and accept that sometimes it is going to play as a 4-2-3-1, and sometimes it's going to be 4-3-3. But I think Herrera can do it. I mean, Herrera's feisty.
Adaptability. Who's ever heard of that in modern football?
I mean, there's a worry with Herrera. He gets booked early on and he's on a tightrope. But I think Herrera and Carrick in that role, if they drop back into together, they can do that.
Can Herrera only play the 4-3-3 role, though? Can he only play in that system? I think that...
Can Pogba?
Well...
Pogba seems to be better in a 4-3-3.
Pogba doesn't have a position
He seems happier
yet.
there.
He just doesn't have one.
He didn't have one when he was at Juventus.
Yeah, but he's kind of glued to Zlatan at the moment. That's where Pogba is. He's just on his thigh. That's where I see Pogba playing at the moment. So if you don't quite know where he is, just look for Zlatan and Pogba will be somewhere.
Attached like a limpet.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I do think that the system could work. Whether it's the right philosophy.
We've got good options anyway.
Don't mention the P word, Joe, whatever you do.
No, but I really do think that 4-3-3 could be the way forward for United, because the players we've got in them positions are probably strong. That's probably our strongest formation. Yes, I was a dictator before and stopped you from moving any players anywhere.
Still
I think
really
we're just stuck in that 4-2-3-1 formation because everybody else does it. I think it's just the way football's played, and everybody does 4-2-3-1 because it looks impressive because you can get 4 attacking players on the pitch and oh wow, look, we're gonna create chances with that team.
You can do that with a 4-4-2 as well, but the problem is that the media in England seems to have hounded it out of the game.
Maybe, but what's to stop a manager like Mourinho bringing that back in?
Do you not think with Mata and Martial that you lack width?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you were playing 4-4-2,
can you say Mata provides
they
width?
wouldn't be. No, they wouldn't be the players to play in that system,
That's
would
what
they?
I mean.
No.
So I just think that it's almost kind of like we've got players, we've got too many players for the striker position, and we need a bit more quality on the wings. So now we're thinking, well, we've got these decent strikers, so let's put them on the wings and hope for the best. And we saw how well Mata played in that number 10 role, and to take him out of that now, what confidence would that do?
I don't know. I mean, he loves Anfield, doesn't he? But I mean, I'm going to pick up on a point that
if
Chris
you play
made.
Valencia, there's a chance the ball could hit him and go in the net.
There is every chance that could happen. But I just wanted to pick up on something that you were just mentioning there, Chris. I mean, we discussed it on the show last week. I gave it a brief mention. There's possibly a problem in the wider game in that there seems to be a lack of genuine wingers coming through now. I mean, if you look at United's team, that would be the only problem going back to 4-4-2. As much as it would be great to have Rashford and Ibrahimovic as a front two playing off each other, that in my opinion could work brilliantly. But the issue is,
I don't like it.
There's no, like you say, there isn't any width to it, and there's not enough wingers coming through anymore.
Memphis.
Oh God, stop it about Memphis.
I know, honestly.
Yeah, but
your obsession with
there.
that lad is unhealthy.
Yeah, but he is there. He's there somewhere.
He is there.
He's lurking.
There.
He's there as a presence.
He's in Manchester in presence.
He is.
Not in
player.
spirit.
No.
He's going
No.
Christmassy now.
No.
Bit early for that.
Before we move on to Joe's wacky and wonderful game that we're going to end with, want to get some score predictions in on this just to see where we're up to, where the confidence really lies. And Joe, do you know what? I'm going to start with you before I go to Chris, because I think Chris is going to pick us up in the middle of either side of us, not perhaps providing the positivity that Chris needs.
Oh, are you trying to say that I'm quite kind of an extrovert when I come down to picking scores?
Yeah,
all right,
possibly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it, and then we'll judge from there.
I think United will just pip it 5-4.
Right. Well, thanks for that.
No, mate. No, come on, 3-2. 3-2 United. It's going to be.
I was going to say exactly the same.
Well, there you go.
It's a gate. Well, I found the middle. You see, I knew. I thought that Andy will go quite low. So what I'll do, I'll say something really ridiculous that I want to say, and then I'll pick the middle of that, and that'll be Chris's answer, so it makes me sound sensible.
Well, there you go.
So there's your thinking behind it.
So you're going for 3-2 United as well, are you, Chris?
I was, yeah, that's what, and I was.
He
gonna
was
say
until I said it. Now he's changed his mind.
No, I'm going to stick with 3-2 and say that 2 of the goals will be scored from set plays.
What, their goals are ours?
No, ours.
Daily Blind cross.
Yeah, or corners. I think their defence is to be got at.
Well, I mean, I think if Rooney plays, you probably lose the set piece threat, don't you? That's the only issue.
No, because he's quite. He could accidentally hit the post and it might fall to Zlatan again. You never know. It's a good way of playing.
I feel like I'm about to bring the tone down here.
You can't defend that.
I'm going to bring the tone down.
Go on.
I don't think we're going to win.
Oh no, he said it.
I just don't think we're going to win.
Chris, what have you done? You were supposed to cheer him up.
He has. Do you know what? Do you know what? Having Chris on has really cheered me up. However, I still don't think we're going to get it right on the day. I think there's every chance we get the system wrong. I think there's every chance you see the same sort of problems that we saw against Manchester City, and Liverpool have a lot of these. Dare I say it for sounding a little bit like Brendan Rodgers, a lot of these little tacticians, these little movers on the pitch that sort of can weave around us.
And got Joe Allen.
They haven't got Joe Allen anymore. They are missing. They are
Joe
missing
Allen
Jesus.
Type. Yeah,
they are.
I'm going to put another positive spin on this.
Go on.
This is not an early kickoff.
Well, that's changed my mind. We're going to win. It's evening kickoff.
Well, that may.
We'll have woken up by then. I mean, that's a fair point.
We've been shocking.
I was,
against City, well, not shocking, but we've had bad results.
I was going to say before you said that, Chris, I was going to say 2-1 Liverpool, but now you've said that,
2-2.
I'm going to say 2-2.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, I'll step in.
So 3-2, 3-2, 2-2.
Yeah, so it's going to be a high scorer. I think
every time we've said this, it's been 1-0.
It'll be 0-0 now.
This has got 0-0 all written all over
it.
Yeah,
it has, hasn't it? Absolutely right.
Well, anyway, that's what you've gone for.
Yeah, but the people of the Twitter world, if you are listening at We Follow United, please let us know your score predictions for the game. We'll give shout-outs to anyone who's got it right. That has not been a lot recently, it has to be said.
I was close.
Chris wasn't. Did you see his 8-0?
No.
In the Europa League? That was
less said about that,
extraordinary. Yeah, absolutely right. Let's move swiftly on to end the show. Joe, you've got a little bit of a game that you want to play with me and Chris here.
Yeah, I was sat before the game and I thought we haven't done anything like this before, and I thought Chris hasn't been on in a while, and I thought I'd remind you of the good times.
All right.
So what I've done, I've picked out 5 goals from the last 30 years.
30 years?
20 years.
Well, that's good. I was alive for some of it then.
Let me check my notepad. Yeah, 20 years. Bang on 20 years.
So one of them's from 96, Chris. Remember that.
So that's your hint. So these will come in kind of, they're in no order whatsoever. So don't expect anything special. I'm going to play a clip to you, basically. It's going to be about 30 seconds. And what I want you to do, I want you to guess. It's going to be a goal. That's your hint.
Okay.
And I want you to guess. Well, you'll know the player by the commentary, but I want you to tell me who it was against and the year if you can. And I'll tally it up, and I want to see if Chris Clay can beat the mighty Andrew. That?
No chance.
I think the word mighty is over egging it a bit, but we'll see. How are we working this, Joe? Is there one for me, one for Chris, or how are you going to work this?
Well, I've got 5, so that doesn't really work. That
you've done well there, haven't you? You really thought this through. I'm really glad we have you producing this sometimes.
You know what? If you'd mentioned that before,
why don't we do
I'm gonna
two
cut
each?
one.
Here you go. I'll produce it for you.
Yeah, and then
we'll
if it's a
and we'll
draw,
have a tie
if
break.
it's a draw, then you can have the.
Sure, it's a good job I'm here.
Right, thank you. Right, so Chris.
Chris, do you want to go first or
Yeah,
second?
no, Chris is going first.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, you deciding for? Well, there you go, Chris. You've been sold.
Yeah, you ready, Chris? It's
Yes,
going to be the most exciting piece of audio you'll ever hear.
I'm dreading
It's
it.
an actual goal from United.
I can't believe it.
Ready? Oh, it's taking a while to warm up this
It's a
one.
quiet
Goals
game.
in the 6-yard area. 5 behind. James gets there just first. Cantona!
Do you know what? I can't believe you've given him that.
Yeah.
That is a point on the board straight away.
Chris, you know where it's from?
I'm going to say Liverpool,
Of course he is.
and I'm going to say 1998.
Oh,
Oh,
Chris,
no,
you were so
Chris.
close. Do you remember what I said to you about one goal being from 20 years ago?
I'm terrible with years.
One goal was from 20 years ago.
This could be a
Chris.
downfall,
It'll
Chris.
be 96, won't it? FA Cup final.
So, Chris, I'll give you 1 point for that.
Thank you.
You are too
I
generous.
wrote Christ on your name as well.
That's all for how I feel about this show.
Right.
Now who's the mighty one?
Andy.
Oh God! You've given him an FA Cup final goal. What are you going to give me? A goal that we scored against Club Brugge last year by Memphis, is it?
No.
No.
Are you cheating?
Something special like this.
If this is a goal against Club Brugge, then I have cheated.
1987, and what was a third-round tie. Fortune. Past Sibierski. Almost dismissed him with disdain. Oh, what a save by Harrison. But in goes Ronaldo. It's 3. Giggs with the shot. Harrison with the save. Ronaldo with the goal.
Well, you've been kind to me there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
I have.
I'll remember
They're
this when
quite
we get
easy because
outside.
we've never done this before. So,
So just to recap, Chris got an FA Cup final goal
Yeah.
against Liverpool.
Yeah.
An iconic goal.
yeah.
I got Quinton Fortune involved in a free-flowing United move for 3-0 in a game that involved Sibierski, did I hear in that?
Yeah.
Harrison, who is he?
He's a goalkeeper
Well, I guess that.
because he saved it.
Well, I know Sibierski played for Manchester City, and I believe he also played for Newcastle. That gives me no help at all because I've no idea who Harrison is. 3-0, Ronaldo was there, and Giggs was still playing. But how was Quinton Fortune still there? My goodness.
It was in the 72nd minute, if that
guy
helps you.
just loves being involved. Oh, yeah, the 72nd minute's giving it away.
Yeah, and
Cheers for that.
56 seconds.
Cheers. That's it.
He was on Sky Sports 2. Copyright. Sorry, Sky Sports.
I've absolutely no idea.
Well, you can
I've
guess
got
out of the two.
50-50 on
Yeah,
teams.
exactly. And Christ has got 1 point, so
I know I'm fuming about this.
so you could draw even.
I could draw him. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go with.
Right.
Gosh, this is ridiculous. I'm going to have to go with that. You've picked a clip against Manchester City.
Right, you're correct.
Well, thank goodness for that. In terms of the year, I'm going to have to go with 2000 and. Gosh, this
Gonna have
is
to rush
more
you, Andy.
ridiculous. 6?
No, it's 2004.
Oh.
2004. Did you know it, Chris?
No, I've been on 2002. Just before you play the next clip, I could barely hear the second one then, just to let you know, guys.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
dear.
kidding me.
Nightmare.
These already excuses coming out.
Can you
in now,
believe it? You're gonna have to push the sound up on the next one, Joe.
Right.
Are we classing this as 1-1 then? are
1-1.
we? Right.
Christ has got 1. And
Are you doing bonus points for the year then? Because the year is very difficult.
all right. No, yeah. So you get 1 for
One
one.
for-
One
okay.
for what? 1 for each So the club is 1, and the year is another point. So you get 2 points if you get both right.
So I always find it's good to explain the rules as you go through the game.
I told you this before. If you'd listened, then we'd get there.
Now, boys. Now.
Right, here we go.
Hold me back.
Right, Chris, you should know that this is iconic in the football.
Again?
It is iconic.
Herrera, and here's Memphis with a great return to the team. That is exactly what he needed and exactly what Manchester United needed.
How can you call that iconic?
Because it's Memphis scoring.
You had to choose a Memphis goal, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, there was no other choice.
Oh, my days.
I'm struggling here.
Well, the year's quite easy, at least.
Well, yeah.
I know this.
Well, I'm going to go...
No pressure.
You can pass it to Andy and have the next one.
No, I'm going to go 2015.
Oh, you got 1 point then, Christ.
That's a great shout.
Now,
They played in yellow.
I was going to say Liverpool.
Oh, he's picked the wrong team
He's
in
picked
yellow.
the wrong yellow.
He's picked the wrong shade of yellow.
That's orange.
It's Watford, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Watford.
Is it Watford?
So Christ, you're on 2 points. You're currently leading. Right, here you
Did
go.
you not just delete the T so you can call him by his proper name again?
No, I've now named every single one, Christ. So, right, here we go. So this one, Andy.
Yeah.
This is iconic as well.
Was I born when this one was scored?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just about.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. So this was 1974. I'm joking.
Might be coming off for Manchester United. A little knock in the first half. Now then, here's Rooney. Oh my goodness me! That is one of the strikes of the season. Absolutely brilliant, fantastic from Wayne Rooney.
Turn it off. I know it.
So I was 10 years old when this happened almost.
I know that one.
10
I
years.
wish I'd have swapped now.
No, I'm
10 years old. Well, now all I've got to do is remember my own brother's birthday.
no. I wasn't 10 years old. I've now thrown you by telling you that I was the wrong age.
Cheers, mate.
So no, let's reset. You don't have you'll have to guess when it was. Who do you think it was against?
Well, it was Newcastle. It was the volley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You said you were 10, but then you weren't 10.
I'm not letting you know either way.
Okay.
I forgot that he was my brother Chris and that he'd know my age.
I mean, to be honest with you, I had to think about your age. Right, so I'm going to say, if you'd have been 10, that would have been...
Well, it was Rooney's. I'll give you your clue that you get one. Rooney's kind of. He was only there for a couple of seasons.
2005.
Oh Christ, he's got it.
Yes.
Well done.
So that's it's now 3-2 to Andy. This
you
leaves you.
definitely weren't 10 when that was scored then.
Maybe.
No, you
It
weren't.
was 95, so I was.
No, you were 9.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was.
It's good that you know your own age, though, mate.
So hold on, let me tally it up. I've miscounted here. So that's
You're right, with 3-2.
2 to Christ and 3 to Andy.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Should we do the tie break just for fun anyway?
yeah,
Let's do.
I mean,
bonus
you've
points.
got it, so...
Bonus points.
All right.
So whoever shouts it first.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Probably not, but yeah.
I don't care. Right, here you go. You ready for this one?
Go on.
If you get the year, you win by default.
That's a great shout.
No, that's not fair actually. No, if you just double points for each point.
Go on, then.
As far as Scholes. Scholes hits one! Oh, what a goal!
Barcelona.
Paul Scholes has produced one.
Chris, he's definitely beat you. But what year was it?
2003.
No, 5 years ahead of that. It was 2008.
Gosh, as late as that?
Yeah.
Oh, I would not have said 2008.
Well, Christ, he's beat you 4-2.
I would not.
Congratulations,
2008, as late as that?
Yeah, well, it was when the year we won it.
Good grief, as if he was still scoring the big goals then.
I know.
What a player.
What a player. It was a nice goal as well. So that's it then. That's my lovely game for 1 week only.
Well, thanks for that.
Did you enjoy it?
I did, yeah.
Loved it.
It was
That's going
nice.
to sound amazing on the podcast.
Right, you can all go away. You're
Well,
not coming again. I'll do it on my own.
Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on, though, and thanks for playing along.
guys.
It's always good, and it's been nice to have a laugh for once about United in a different way.
Well, I thought I'd finish on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Chris, great to have you on, though. Do give him a follow. It's at cclay1978 United. Give this guy a follow on Twitter. If you love chatting football, you'll love chatting with Chris. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the show.
Cheers. There you go. Chris Clay joining us on the line. Great bit of fun to end the show there. Hope you enjoyed what we did, Joe. It was frantic in parts. You've been producing, you've been phoning, you've been coming up with features. It's been a good week.
It's a new me, eh?
It's a new you. Who are you trying to get a job with?
I don't know.
But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And if you've enjoyed any of what you've heard tonight, you may have caught a glimpse of a couple of seconds you've enjoyed. Hit the video with a like if you have. Do subscribe if you're new also, and comment with any of your opinions to anything we've discussed, either in the comments section below. You can also find us, of course, at We Follow United on Twitter. Do also be sure to give our official partner a follow at Stretford End app. You can download them from your app store now. It's a great app. It is the encyclopedia for Manchester United
All you need
fans.
to know is, though, if you go on the app and press on media, then Red Devil Chronicle are on there. So that's how the easy link.
That's how
us
you can get to us.
as another way.
What could be better? It's been a pleasure, and enjoy the international break as much as you can, can't you? Because when we return, it's Liverpool and it's Chelsea, and it does not get much bigger than this. Enjoy your weekends.